Hello friends and welcome to Python programming. Today I would be teaching you the first chapter in Python programming. But before I proceed, I just want to ask you one simple question. What is programming and why do you need it? Programming is just a set of algorithms that you need to run an important task. Let's say for example, we see a lot of things and a lot of softwares in our daily life. Let's say for example a Photoshop or games or any other software. How do these softwares run? These are so complex softwares. These softwares are run on a basic set of instructions. Let me tell this to you in simple language. Let's say for example you step out from your home and you want to go to your office. How do you do that? You need to first know the road as to which road do you need to take to go to your office. So you step out from your house, you go ahead, take a left, you go ahead, then take a right, two more rights, and then you reach your office. That's just an example. So that's how you reach your office, because you need to know where you're going. You need to have instructions as to where you need to go, which road to take, so as to reach to your office directly. The same goes with programming. You need to give a set of instructions to your computer, and the computer does not know our language. It has a different set of languages of its own, like Cobalt, Fortran, and all those things, all those stuffs. That's why. So today I would be starting with programming, which is basically named as Python. The name Python is derived from Monty Python and not from Python, the family of snakes. And this is built by Guido van Rossum. So let's start with the first chapter in Python programming. So before I proceed, you guys would be asking yourself that why do you need to learn Python programming? There are so many other languages, let's say C, C#, C#, C++, and all those things. Then why Python programming? Because the reason for that is that it is used for system administration tasks and it plays a vital role in system security, mostly Linux. Other purposes include such as creating firewalls. Even Google uses this Python programming for its own web crawler that is known as Spider to search specific things over the web. That's the reason. Python is used for programming, for gaming, for searching out different text and videos over the web, to create a filter for spam messages that you get across your email. So the question that you need to ask that where is this programming not used, rather than asking where is this programming used. And the second question is why Python? The reason for that is because if you compare it to C, C# or C++, Java, JavaScript, Python is very simple, very flexible as compared to any other language. It's very easy to compile and execute. That's the reason. If you see a C or C++ program, it will take around 5 to 6 lines of code to just write a simple hello world program. But if you do the same in Python, it takes hardly one single line of code. Yes, you're right, that's exactly how it is. So let's start with the installation of Python, how we would be installing it. So here is how to install Python programming, Python execution language for, there are different operating systems over here such as Windows, Linux, Unix, even Macintosh, and Python does work in all these operating systems. So let's go ahead and first download the Python executing variable for this operating system. So let's go ahead on www.python.org. So when you come over here, you will see a downloads option over here. You can see different versions for Windows 3.4.2 and 2.7.9. So the question that you would be asking is that which one do you need to learn? Python 2.7.9 and Python 3.4.2 both are two different it's not two different programming languages, it's just they're a bit different when it comes to their command. Let's say for example, if you take Python 2.7.9, in order to give you some kind of input to the user, you just use an input and it has a different raw underscore input for giving out information. But if you go ahead and use it for Python 3.4.2, it won't work because it has just input language, it has just the input command and it does not use raw underscore input. That's the reason. So if you are using Windows, then you just go over here, click on that, and it would start downloading. I have already downloaded that one for my Windows. If you have a Macintosh, if you're a Macintosh user, you can go ahead and download this over here, latest Python release. If you are using Linux, then you can straight away go ahead and open your terminal. You can go ahead, and if you're using Debian in Linux, then you need to write apt, that's application -get install. Let me show that for you. So when you're going to install, if you have a Debian package, and if you're using any other Linux package other than Kali Linux, then you need to put this in your terminal. sudo apt-get space install space Python 3.4. This will get you the Python application in your environment. But if you're using, or if you're already having a Python programming language, Python installed in your operating system, then you need to go ahead and type sudo apt-get upgrade Python 3.4, and whatever you have, it will get upgraded to the latest version. And just so that you know what this command means, it's that sudo means super user do. Just as we have administrator in Windows, the same way Linux has its own administrator, which is known as super user, and you need to have root access in order to do that. So super user do application get install Python 3.4. that is if you have a Debian package. If you have a RPM package then of Linux, then you need to go ahead and download an .rpm with that extension from that website. That's www.python.org, and once you have installed, you need to copy it to your root folder. And if you're a Linux user, you sure do know what a root folder is. So once you have that under your root folder, and you need to make sure that there are no other RPM packages inside that root folder when you're going to install this. Otherwise, it will just create a mess. So once you have copied that in your root folder, go ahead and open the terminal. Go to that directory cd .. It's the way that you do that. Go ahead and type this command, that's rpm space -- install space * rpm. If you already have that package and you want to upgrade it, then rpm space -- upgrade space * rpm, and we will get it automatically under your system. So once you have installed Python 3.4 in your system, okay, wait, there is another thing which I need to tell you before we proceed. You also, if you ask me, you should also install Python 2.7.9, which I just showed you on the website. The reason being that as soon as I will be proceeding with the course, I will be giving you some examples which would also build it to 2.7.9, because as of now 2.7.9 is much more used than to 3.4. The reason being that, let's take an example of a company. Your company is running Windows XP for a long period of time, and suddenly you see a new version, that is Windows 7, coming into the market. But you cannot directly go ahead and take that version, because it would cost loads and loads of rupees or dollars to go ahead and get that and install it each and every computer under your system. Besides, you already have a database which works on Windows XP, so it would be very hard for you and very expensive to go ahead and straight away directly transfer to another language, that's another operating system. It's similar with Python. If you are working on 2.7.9, there are commands vary in Python 3.4, and you cannot directly shift from Python 2.7.9 to Python 3.4. But Python 3.4 is a stable version and it is the latest version. That's why you need to go ahead and learn Python 3.4. So now I would be showing you how to install this in your system in just a moment. So once you have downloaded the package Python 2.7.9 and Python 3.4.2, it will look something like this to you. It would be an MSI Microsoft installer package ending with the extension MSI. And now we are going to install both Python under my system. Just need to click next, and here we would be installing that. Let's see. Yep, that's right. Next. So here I would be installing Python 2.7.9, and while that gets installed, I will also install here Python 3.4.2. okay, yeah, it needs that, so we'll just stay here for just a moment.